In this video, I want to go over a technique that I discovered about a year and a half ago, which has helped me come up with film ideas, film plots, film scenes, and basically gotten rid of writer's block. And I'm not talking about some generative AI software or anything like that. No, this is, I think, far more powerful and definitely far more human. And once I share this technique, I'm also going to go over 3 examples of my own work where I've used this technique. So before I get into that technique, I think it's very important to understand why we get into writer's block, why we fall into this sort of pit where we can't think, where our brains are all foggy, where we just can't come up with anything. And I think it comes from a place of trying too hard to come up with the perfect plot, to find character arcs, to find just trying to manufacture a story. However, I think we end up forgetting what the goal of storytelling is, what the goal of art is. Now that clip had no plot. There were 0 character arcs. There was nothing particularly deep to it. It was just a straightforward shot. Yet, I'm pretty sure it made you feel something. And that is what we need to chase as filmmakers. That is what we've forgotten. To chase the feeling, to find a feeling and try to express that. Instead of trying to manufacture the perfect story, how can a story make someone feel? And I think there's a very easy way to go about that, to find a way to find feeling in your film, and that is through music. Music is the ultimate hack, because music, every single song already has a beginning, middle and end. It's already paced out for you. There are already ups and downs. So all you need to do is find a song, a soundtrack, anything, and let it write the story for you. Listen to it and let it pace your narrative, let it show you the ups and downs. If you find a song that really connects to you, it can write your entire story. And it does so in a way that has feeling, because a song is feeling. A song has so much feeling as it is. And that's how you end writer's block. Find a song. I use Artlist to use music, but that's a paid website. But there are royalty-free websites that you can use to find music, and I've linked various websites in the description to this video. But yes, find a song that connects with you. If you're writing a horror film, if you want to write a horror film, just search horror, and you'll get songs, you'll get soundtracks that are horror. If you want to write something, if you want a film that is action-packed, write action. If you want a film that's, that's sad, write sad. Literally, just write in a word that describes the feeling you want, and then go through, and eventually you'll find a song that really connects. And I know this is the case because it's happened to me multiple times, and the first time that this happened for me was by accident. It's a while ago now, almost 2 years ago, a bit less than 2 years ago, I wanted to make this film, the Star Wars fan film, Star Wars Red, which is now done, but oh my god, it took 14 months to finish from start to end. Anyway, different story. Yes, so there was this film, Star Wars Red, and we shot the film, we finished the film, and then after we finished the film, I was on Artlist, and I was going through soundtracks, and I heard this soundtrack that just showed me a scene that I wanted to implement into Star Wars Red. So then I messaged the actors and I said, oh yeah, God, I forgot, there's this scene that we forgot to make. exactly true. But then we met up and we shot the scene, and that is the first scene of Star Wars Red. And it's one of my favourite scenes, and it would have never existed if I hadn't heard that song. That song wrote the whole scene. It paced the whole scene. Star Wars Red is on the channel, so you can go and check out. It's the first scene, and it's a chase scene, and yeah, that scene was entirely created from listening to a song. So check that out if you're interested. Another example of this was when I was trying to find music for a YouTube video a few months ago, and I ended up stumbling across this song, which I found really sad. But again, it had a narrative to it. It had a beginning, middle, and end, and all of a sudden I was picturing a story about a guy who, you know, there's this whole like lock-in culture, grind culture, hustle culture. And I was falling into that trap a little bit, so it was on my mind. And by the way, I don't think it's completely a trap. I think it's good to lock in, but I do think there are some. I do think also you need to be wary. Anyway, different topic. But anyway, that was a topic that was fresh in my head. It was very relevant to me at that time in my life, and I heard this song and it just spoke to me. And it told the story of someone who basically lost all their friends, lost their relationship in pursuit of some silly financial goal, in pursuit of, well, by locking in. And that came to me, and I wasn't even planning on making a film like that. That I had no intention. I was looking for a soundtrack to use for a YouTube video, but in the end, I ended up finding a script through that song, and I made that film, and I made that film because of the song. So that's the other example. And the last example that I wanted to go over is very recently I uploaded a film, and it's called The Aftermath. It's on the channel, and and this example is a little bit different because unlike the other two examples, I didn't use the song that I found in the final film. So what happened was I was with my friend Francesco, and we challenged ourselves to make a film in a very short period of time. So I used this tactic. We couldn't come up with anything, so I said, okay, let's listen to some music. Let's see if we can find the narrative through music. And we went on Artlist, we listened to some songs, and I heard this song that was sort of goofy, but it reminded me so much of Nigel. Nigel is Francesco's dog. And I thought, oh, that's funny. Anyway, never mind. So we kept looking at new songs, but I kept envisioning Nigel from that previous song. I couldn't get it out of my head. So then, I just said, hey, Frank, I can't stop seeing Nigel. I think we need to make a film with Nigel. And that's what we did. We made a film with Nigel, and in the end, and in the end, we came up with our own sort of script. But our own sort of story came from the idea of having Nigel in it, which came from listening to a song. So the film we made in the end would have never have existed if we hadn't listened to that song. And I think that's very powerful. I think it's so helpful when you're stuck, when your brain is foggy, when you don't know what to write. Just listen to some music. Listen to music until you find one that connects. Listen to music until you find a song where you can envision scenes, where you can see visuals, where you can see ups and downs. When the music is fast-paced, your film can be fast-paced, intense. When it's slow, your film can be slow, mellow, dramatic, sad, whatever it is. You can use your song as guidelines, and that is, I think, a real hack for creating, especially if you've got a short period of time you need to create something in, which is very useful if you are taking part in Film It Yourself. Film It Yourself is a sort of digital film festival that I host here on the channel, and it happens every few weeks, and basically you have 2 weeks to make a film on a particular topic. So if the topic is, let's say, trees, it's a very random example, you can go onto whatever website you're using to find music, search trees, and then you'll have so many songs that come up around the topic of trees. And then you might find a narrative in a song that hits hard. So yes, if you are taking part in filming it yourself, definitely, I think, try this out. I think you'll find it very useful. And again, you can either do it in a way where the song ends up in the final film, like I did for Star Wars and In Your Dreams, or you can use it in a way where the song influences another sort of story, which you saw in which just like I did for the Aftermath. Yeah, so yeah, try this out. I think it's really fun. I think it's really interesting, and I don't see too many people talking about it. So yes, if you are stuck and you're tempted to go on ChatGPT, please try this out instead. This is far more human, it's far more creative, and I think you can come up with far more powerful and personal stories this way. And hopefully, you will create a feeling. So try it out.